WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something Cadenheads. Cadenheads World Whiskies, America, not American, America. Tennessee whiskey, individual cask, distilled in a Tennessee distillery, aged 15 years, matured in an oak cask, wow. Bottled autumn 2019, product wood type, barrel. I love that. Wood type. Barrel number of bottles 162 at 51.1%. Yay. All right, so this bottle over here in Europe would cost us, or did cost us, 90 euros. Thank you very much, Martin B. He actually sold me the rest of the heel here of this bottle. He did a bottle share, and I got my 5 CLs, and yeah, that's the way it goes. So this is cask strength, says on the back. This is whiskey base number 139184. And I'm going to compare it to something over here which I love, and the Scotch Test Dummies also loved it. This is the double barrel from Jack Daniels, as Bart would like to say. Single barrel, barrel strength 64.5%, which is kind of amazing if you think about barrel proof, which is 62.5%. So in total, all of the barrels that are used here go up in strength. Wow. All right, so fun fact. Every whiskey that is named Tennessee whiskey, not whiskey from Tennessee, not Tennessee rye, but Tennessee whiskey, has to use the Lincoln process, or Lincoln County process. There's one exception, I'll come to it. Now, why is it called the Lincoln County? Well, Jack Daniels is basically one of the best lobbyists in the state. I think whiskey, Jack Daniels whiskey in particular, is one of the top 10 exports of the state. And so there's a little bit of money involved here. And so when they went about creating legislation for Tennessee whiskey, they called it the Lincoln County process. What you do is you take sugar maple, turn it into charcoal, and you let the distillate coming off the stills slowly go through this, hours, maybe even days in some cases, and then you barrel it. Now, why Lincoln County? Well, Jack Daniels used to be in Lincoln County. Now, what happened? What do you mean Jason used to be? Well, they changed the county lines. The distillery didn't move, the county lines moved, and now it's located in Moore County, no longer Lincoln County. Now, the very, very interesting fact is there's one single distillery that does not need to use the Lincoln County process because they were grandfathered into the law, which means they were doing it before the law was created, and therefore they can continue doing what they had done before, and that is Pritchard's. I'm sorry, not Pearson. Pearson Lyons is someone else. It's Pritchard's. Pritchard is in Lincoln County. So the only distillery at the moment in Lincoln County doesn't use the Lincoln County process. I love this little fun fact. All right, so is this Jack Daniels? No. Is this Pritchard? Probably not. Is this made in Tullahoma, Texas at the Cascade Hollow George Dickel Distillery? Yeah, probably. So Diageo sold some of their casks. Now, for me, the real question is, and maybe someone who's much more knowledgeable than I am can answer this, where was this cask aged? Now, according to my interpretation of the legislation of Tennessee whiskey, Texas is more of something I'd like to have. Tennessee whiskey it doesn't have to be bottled in Tennessee to be called Tennessee whiskey. It has to be produced in Tennessee. That's all that matters. And so this is probably, I think it was bottled over here in Europe. And therefore the question is, did it come over in stainless steel tanks or plastic? Or did it come over in the cask? And if it came over in the cask, how long has that cask been in Scotland? So I was just recently watching a live stream here, My Whiskey Den. Very interesting channel, by the way. And they had Mr. Licorice from Iron Root Distillers on board. And he started talking about how important temperature is to the casks. But he mentioned something else that really caught my interest. He said air pressure. Now, he's right beside the Tornado Alley up in Oklahoma because where they are located, Iron Root, is very, very much in the north. And so sometimes the air pressure drops down so low that he says some of the casks actually start crying, weeping, because the air pressure actually pulls the liquid out through the pores of these pinhole-size little gaps in there, and they're little beads as if it started crying. And I'm sure that the air pressure affects the maturation of a barrel maybe as much, maybe more, maybe much, much less in temperature, but it has something to do with it. And that was a new thought for me. And I also think temperature is a big thing because in Tennessee, the temperature is a lot different than they are over here in Scotland or in continental Europe for that matter. All right, first of all, look at the colors. This is brown, this is reddish. Even in the bottles, you can kind of see brown, a little bit more of a red hint or hue, and this has a very, very, almost like a dark stain, wood stain color. I'm not referring to this tasting like stain, but it has that walnut stain color. On the nose, a little bit of leather, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit brown, a little bit darker over here. Fruitier, red, a little bit more alcohol, 64.5 versus 51.1. Oh, I kind of like the nose here, a tiny little better, bit better. Let's try it. That's hot. Wow. Now, I'm not a sissy when it comes to bourbon. I am sometimes a sissy when it comes to scotch, and that higher proof scotch, 63% and so on. With scotches above anything above 55, I kind of put water in it, usually, even sometimes at 50. That's hot for bourbon. It's got a nice taste, but that hotness, that spice, that white pepper kind of tells me that this was matured over here on this side of the pond and not in Tennessee. I had a Heaven Hill from the whiskey broker. Color was totally wrong. Looked like a scotch, didn't look like a bourbon. And also the taste pattern was totally off. And yeah, it was aged over here in Europe. And I think that's kind of what happened here as well. All right, go over to our double barrel Jack Daniels, 64.5%. So much sweeter, so much more honey, so much more of a berry type of moment. There's a tiny little bit of alcohol towards the end. Here it goes bang. Here it goes boom. Supports. 64.5%. Nice. Straight out of the bottle, no water added. 51.1%. Wow, that's kind of hot. It really is amazing what happens to whiskey when you age it. No age statement. No age statement. Sorry, once again, no age statement. Age statement, 15 years of age. All right, going back here. What I do get in the nose now is children's vitamin. What does that tell us? Flintstone vitamins? It's Dickel. This is good old Dickel juice, huh? I would put money on the table that this is Dickel juice. I'm talking like 20 to 30 euros or dollars I'd put on the table to bet that that is not hundreds, but I'm fairly sure. It's good. It's not great. What I haven't tried is the Dickel bottled and bond. Stateside, $35. Hasn't made it over here to Europe at all. I've seen it at a few auctions going for $100 or $80, and it was like, nah, not worth that. Last sip. Okay. Let's try to take this down to 43, 46%. Nose doesn't change at all, which really is fascinating for me. I didn't put 3 drops in there. I diluted it down. More than 10%. Mm-hmm. Getting those Flintstone vitamins, getting a little bit of darker type of chocolate, a little bit of raisins. Now I'm going to read the description on the back of this, all right? I do agree with a few things, and I definitely don't agree with most of them. All right, sweet and creamy. This is sweeter. Full and oily. Peanut butter. Nope. Cherry cola. Yes. We have these tiny little cherry cola from Haribo, these tiny little wine gummies. Nice. Orange bitters. Nah. Cinnamon buns. Toffee. Yes. Chocolate covered, and wait for it, chocolate covered pretzels. And golden syrup. And now the best part is the finish. Baked apples, maybe. Agave syrup, not really. Pineapple chunks and coconut. No. I do not have a pina colada in my glass. I am so sorry. Whoever wrote these tasting notes, especially at the end, they totally got something different than I did. Pineapple chunks and coconut. If you go up to Nuckandu 12, you get coconut. Beautiful, beautiful, fairly inexpensive dram. Pineapple, I'm not sure if I've ever had pineapple in my whiskey before. I'm sure if I asked Dr. Don Livermore up there from Canada, from Lot 40, he could probably tell me what esters you need to have pineapple, but I do prefer that Jack Daniels, though. I really do. That's some good stuff. All right, I'm going to give this a B-, which is a great score, by the way. Value for money is more of a C-. I would definitely recommend this. The problem is 162 bottles worldwide. Rare and exotic. That's what happens here. WhiskyJason, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell others, maybe even share the video if you want on social media. I'd appreciate it a lot. And I'll see you probably on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays when I release my videos. If you ever want to contact me, whiskyjason@gmail.com. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.